to be publicly a nuisance, an irritation of happiness, everywhere I go and in every moment. And I have done that without 1 minute interruption for 47 years. And I want to tell you my 2 secrets, because they're not really secrets. But beware of listening, because after this you will know that if you're not joyful, you decided not to be. The first thing that happened is that I dove into the ocean of gratitude, Dankbarkeit, and I never found the shore. I'm swimming in all that I am grateful for. I am swimming for Austrian literature. I'm still looking for an Austrian who's read Musil's complete Man Without Qualities. Am I the only one? Oh, thank you. You can read young Torles if you want a shorter book of muses. I dove into the ocean of literature, and I've read many, many, many thousands of books of the great literature of your country, and most every other country. I dove into the ocean of nature, the ocean of loving all people, deciding, well, just love all people, because if we loved everybody, there would be no war and no injustice. It's that simple. If we had any education in love. But no school in the world teaches 1 hour in 13 years. No medical school in the world teaches compassion. So let's keep loving secret. So the diving into the ocean of gratitude, to be glad for arms and legs. And my favorite thing to do in life is kissing Susan. So I'm really particularly grateful that that's an opportunity. If you don't know this kind of kissing, I suggest some workshops. The other way I decided to live happy all the time involves a formula of 3 words: intention, performance, and consequences. For example, here, I will love life. I will love life. I will love life. Notice I am not saying, I will try to love life. I hope to love life. Oh, I could love life. I should love it. Man. I will love life. There is no exit. In the same way I say, I'll raise my right hand, I will raise my right hand, I will raise my right hand, I will raise my right hand. Who's in charge? I am. I will raise my right hand. And every time I decide I will, in the same way, I will love life. Having an intention, you then have an infinite number of possible performances to put your intention forward. You think of all of your life experiences, you think of your joyful life in improvisation, and you think of who you are with, what time of day, what are the circumstances, and you choose the performance in that minute that best puts your intention forward. And you have that glorious conscious truth of noticing the consequences of your act. How did I do? Did I put my intention forward? If not, no loyalty to the performance, you change your performance. You wake up with that intention, you live through your entire day in that. Notice there's no free time. There's no free time, because as soon as you're thinking of your intention and which performance to do, and you notice the consequences, you're right back to going, what are my intentions? You can have intentions like, I will love all people. You can have an intention, I will not watch television. That's a particularly good one. And notice how easy it is to perform it. Don't have one. There's even a beautiful little thing called TV Be Gone. And you can turn off TVs wherever you go. Like a sports bar. You see, why does this come up? Because most people operate from a syntax of because. because of what my father did to me, because of my age, my sex, because of my race, my economic status, because of my disease, because I am a because. And that is certainly the generation of most mental illness. The syntax that I'm talking about is a syntax of so that. I perform so that my intention is put forward. I'm sorry, it's that easy. If you pay attention to your intentions, I will love life. You wake up, I will love life. So if you wake up with somebody, you're going to be the best wake-up experience that person ever had. Because you choose to do it, and you will perform it. And that's worked for me every day, all day long, for 47 years uninterruptedly. It's allowed me to have a lot of time to do what I wanted to do because I'm not struggling with anything. I'm not disappointed in anything. I'm not hurt by anything. Because I'm trying to go, what are my intentions? What's performance in this moment? How did I do? And then I'm right back there to the same damn thing. What are my intentions there? So that's really what I want to say about living a life of joy. It helps, and this is true for me. I'm living a life of joy because I am really glad that I get to live at least 65 years. There's an insect called the mayfly that gets 12 hours of life. And if it were a human, it would be going 11:59, 11:58. But if you watch a mayfly, it's not doing that. It's going, poof, 12 hours, better go. And if you think about it, if you think of the length of time, what's 100 years? It's about the same thing. Relative to time, 100 years and 12 hours is the same thing. Mathematically insignificant. So why go 99 years, 364 days? To live, it's like a composer, okay? Now if you take somebody like Mahler, who wanted big orchestras, big ones, maybe too big, certainly too big for a small town. But when you have a big orchestra and so many instruments, you're still, each note is part of your composition. And for the piece to work, all of those notes are in coordination with all of the others for all of the other instruments. And that's what you are. You are a composer of your life. You are your symphony that you are creating. And it's just an option, you know, it's not a command. It's not a struggle, it's just a decision. One decision is, I will make my life. Okay, the making of the joyful medical practice. Now, if there were joyful medical practices, it wouldn't have to come up with it. I've worked in 70 countries' hospitals. I've spoken in medical schools, 90 of our medical schools, and medical schools in 70 countries, in some countries all of their medical schools. And I haven't found a happy hospital. So it's not like it's easy to copy one. I entered medical school in 1967 as a political activist. I am first an activist. Medicine and clowning are two ways of my activism. I want a world where no one alive can remember what the word war means. It's particularly poignant to me coming from the #1 terrorist nation. I want to say it twice so that you hear an American say it. And I'm not a dumb American. And maybe it'll make you look closer at your politics. Okay. So from the time I decided to love life and decided to devote myself to the path of peace and justice for all people, I'm a nerd. Auf Deutsch, nerd? Nerd. Oh, very easy. I mean, I've almost never had to study. In medical school, I took 17 pages of notes. You know, I had a lot of free time in medical school. And during medical school, I was thinking, okay, in the 60s, I was wondering what kind of leadership in peace and justice did I want? And there are two basic kinds of leaderships. There's leaderships at close hand, one-on-one, a mentorship maybe, a teacher. And then there's leadership at a distance, and Martin Luther King, Gandhi are two examples, where you lead, but you actually don't know who's listening. And so, before I went to medical school, I went to big parks, and I experimented. I got on a platform, and I used language to get a large group of people ready to do violence. I'm sorry how easy it was. But historically, we've seen how easy it is. And once I got them at a very high level to do violence, I said, look at yourself. You let a stranger get up here and with the magic of language get you ready to do violence. Is this what you want? Are you thinking? And I did it 8 or 9 times, and I was beaten up really badly each time because people don't like to find that out about themselves. And I realized that I didn't want to lead by distance. I wanted to be personal. And so I thought when I entered medical school, what did I want? And already I could see that we needed to move back to a tribal existence. That nuclear family was a failed institution and a dangerous direction for a 100-million-year history of tribal living, as we primates have had. I also, through reading and study, had already seen that healthcare wasn't people's fantasy. That there was a lot of problems in the way care was delivered. So I studied in medical school healthcare delivery systems because in the 50s I got interested through Norbert Wiener and other systems thinkers about whole systems idea. So what I wanted to do with a huge amount of reading and interviewing was to create a hospital model addressing every problem of the way care was delivered in one model. And so, in 1971, when I graduated, I started the Gesundheit Institute, a hospital model. Now, no one said, oh, Patch, here's a hospital, take ours. It was much more what happens in poor countries. You look around for a building you can use. And it was the 60s, you know, all right. So I started a commune, a communal hospital. 20 adults and our children, 3 of us physicians, moved into a large single-family dwelling, 6 bedrooms, and called ourselves a hospital. And if you've been in poor countries, we were good. We had plumbing. Not work in poor countries. Maybe you think this is a hospital of a poor country. It's not so. You can go to clinics in poor countries that have 3 drugs. A antibiotic, A anti-inflammatory, and then a third mystery one. And you're still a doctor.